Caribbean's annual presentation of graduates. At this time, we're going to be having the flag bearers. She's followed by the procession of graduates. Faculty of Business, Management and Law, Faculty of Social and Behavioral Sciences, Faculty of Arts and Education, Ladies and gentlemen, please receive the faculty and council of the university. The academic staff, members of the General Council, administrative staff. Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to sing with us the national anthem at this time. you may be seated. And we now have the invocation at this time.
Let us pray. Sovereign God, God of perfect knowledge and wisdom, God who is interested in all aspects of our lives and existence, God in whom we live and move and experience our being. We pause before you on this special day for so many of your special children. We pause in thanksgiving and celebration for all these, our sisters and brothers, who have successfully completed their course of studies and are better prepared for service, contributing to the development of our people and indeed the peoples of the world. We thank you for their families, friends, and associates who have supported them on this journey. We thank you for the International University of the Caribbean, its founders, its leadership, and staff for facilitating the teaching-learning experience. We thank you for the other institutions that are in partnership with us in this ministry through education. We thank you, God, for the United Church in Jamaica and the Cayman Islands, for her commitment to nation building, particularly through education, as she seeks to live out your mission mandate. Be present with us in this graduation ceremony, O Lord. Receive the thanksgiving of your people. Inspire and motivate us to work and serve for the greater good. We ask this in your loving and precious name, O Lord. Amen.
Oh, oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, for such a rendition, we need a better applause than that. That was a lovely musical selection. At this time, we're going to be having the Chancellor's welcome and opening address.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Alun Dombia Samba. I would like to greet you all today, and I guess since I am the first speaker, I will have to go through the names of all the persons who I am to recognize. May I just apologize for anybody whose name I have not called, but be rest assured that your name will be called during the course of the program. Governors of the General Council of the International University of the Caribbean, General Secretary of the United Church, Reverend Norbert Stevens, Deputy General Secretary of the United Church, Mrs. Rose Wedderburn, Reverend Asta Carlyle, I don't see him here, but I see another good friend. Are you fitting in for him? No? The moderator. Guest speaker, Professor Keynote Thompson. Distinguished visiting academics from the College of Humanities, University of KwaZulu-Natal, led by Deputy Pro-Chancellor, Professor N. Maziki, and his team, consisting of Professor J. Smith, who we heard last evening, Professor C. M. Matone, and Professor S. Kamalo. Dr. Amelia Van Butler from the Council for World Missions, faculty and staff, members of the alumni, students, graduates, and well-wishers. This is my first time addressing you as Chancellor. It is indeed my distinct, yes, you can clap for that. It is indeed my distinct pleasure to welcome you this afternoon as we convene this graduation exercise of the International University of the Caribbean. I invite you to celebrate with the institution and our distinguished graduates who have successfully completed their various courses of study. A hearty welcome to you all. My brief time as Chancellor has exposed me to some of the challenges that the university is facing. But I have also observed the resilience of the team in addressing those challenges, and if I may say so, meeting them head on. Our university has downsized and is repositioning itself in the changing higher educational landscape, being impacted by global forces of change. And yesterday, in the lecture we had at the University of the West Indies, we heard a bit about how university training is being changed all over the world to take into account the changing world in which we live. Being a product of a church that has established an unenviable record of practical commitment to education in Jamaica and the Cayman Islands, covering basic, primary, secondary, and tertiary stages, we must do our part to strengthen the relationship between the United Church and the IUC as we work as partners in this great mission. In this phase of the journey, my vision is to work with the President and the IUC management team to overcome the financial and recruitment challenges so that we can become a more viable private institution. There are clear indicators that the journey through this academic year will require the focus and wisdom of all of us. The IUC is not just a worthwhile vision, it is a faith-inspired journey that we believe has begun to position itself to cultivate leaders who understand what it means to give meaningful expression to our calling and to seek peace and justice and to pursue excellence. This morning, I made a post. Those of you who know me know that I am active on social media. And I thought it would be good for me to share this with you. Today, I prayed that God would grant you more than you wished for, bless you more than you asked for, and give you strength to overcome all adversities in your life. May you enjoy God's blessings today. I welcome all of you, my friends, and I thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Ambassador Alun Asamba. I'm going to invite the President at this time to address you. Professor Roderick Hewitt, President of the International University of the Caribbean. Please make him welcome.
Chancellor Asamba, I want to begin by welcoming our moderator, the Right Reverend Gary Harriott. It's very important because next year there will be a new moderator installed. So this will be his last graduation as moderator with us. So let's celebrate the moderator of the United Church in Jamaica and the Cayman Islands. I want to pause and welcome our guest speaker, Professor Canute Thompson. And if you see me smiling with him, it's that he is extra special because he has journeyed with us here at IUC in the past. And now he's Pro-Chancellor with responsibility for undergraduate studies at the University of the West Indies. Let's celebrate Prof. Canute Thompson. We have with us distinguished colleagues from the College of Humanities, and we will hear from one of them later. But we have with us Professor Ioannis Smith. He chairs the Humanities Institute at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. We heard him, as Chancellor said yesterday, hitting the nail on the head about the priority of having excellence in African priority scholarship. And we want to welcome him, along with Prof. Smith, Professor Simangaliso Kumalo. You notice I welcome him second, because he's actually no stranger to us. Those of us who were here before, he was our keynote speaker at our graduation. So let's welcome our friends from University of KwaZulu-Natal. We have a wonderful partnership with them, especially as we move into the doctoral program with our students being registered with that university. We welcome Dr. Amelia Butler and Miss Vicky Sims. You're not at the front, but Vicky is here. Vicky, wave so I know she's here somewhere. But she's here from the Council for World Mission. So as you know, we have an international team of students with us, and we'll hear more about them. We welcome our council members, faculty members, family members of the graduates, all ladies and gentlemen. It seems only like a few months ago we were gathered here. We had then our acting chancellor, who is now pro-chancellor, Mr. Alexander Bourne, who is principal for Knox College. He was then offering leadership in the chair. We are here again to celebrate with the graduating class of 2023, the IUC community, whose motto declared to the world that we seek peace and we pursue excellence. We must admit, however, that this year has been one full of challenges, full of contradictions, perpetrated by so many existential threats to life. On the global stage, the continuing war between Russia and Ukraine. We say, how long, O Lord? Forever? The senseless war in Gaza, with thousands upon thousands of lives being lost. We see as if it's no end in sight. All what one could call toxic masculinities on display in our world. So we're gathered here today with these senseless threats to human life, dramatically cheapening the lives of our children and women, who are the ones paying the ultimate price or sacrifice for these actions for which they are not a part of. We are seeing the fast rise in autocratic, aristocratic, some would say kleptocratic, kakistocratic leaders being elected in so many nations. Nationalistic form of governance threatening their own citizens. As we see cultic leaders being elected to protect special interests and unleashing fear as the form of governance. So we are here today as a sign of hope that despite what is happening and in spite of what is happening, we think that there is a light that is greater than the dark clouds that are around us. They are saying to us that they control things. We say that God has the last word on everything and on every one of us. Jamaica is not immune from the consequences of these global upheavals. And we are creating our own instability, made in Jamaica, through uncontrolled crime and violence. In addition, the low turnout of our citizens participating in national and local elections. last national election, can you believe it? 37% of our people participating, with the numbers being low at the local election. What is the message that we are saying to each other? That we don't care? That we want to create a nation where people are no longer involved in shaping the future? We are sending out to the nation in 2024 graduates who have been given a vision that we can have a better world where we celebrate fullness of life. We have seen the ascendancies of all kinds of powers, but we are gathered in a sanctuary today to celebrate with our graduates. A sanctuary that speaks volumes to our dependence on divine power. Chancellor Asamba, I think I have to ask you in a very special way, and you know him well, to celebrate and welcome Prof. Canute Thompson, who will be our keynote speaker. We celebrate him because he represents to our nation one of our young, bright, forward-looking intellectuals, being part of another great university, not only here in Jamaica, but in the wider world. I rise to celebrate our partnership that we have with the University of KwaZulu-Natal. Since this week, we have exposed this delegation, introduced them to the High Commissioner of the Republic of South Africa, based here in Jamaica, and she is a representative for the Caribbean region. They are celebrating with us this partnership. We introduced them to the UCJ and will continue this discussion with this great institution that maintain quality assurance standard. We expect that they will also be meeting online with JTech. Yesterday, they were with the Ministry of Education. And that's wonderful. Let's celebrate and put our hands for what happened yesterday under the joint partnership with the University of the West Indies, led not only by the Pro-Chancellor, along with the Principal up at Mona, along with the Pro-Chancellor for Global Affairs. So it was a full display of what partnership can do, and we hope that, as was said yesterday, we will continue to see this kind of joint public lecture dealing with Afrocentric issues that impact not only Jamaica and South Africa, but the wider society. Soon after this, we will hear from Prof. Khumalo speaking on behalf of the Chancellor, Pro-Chancellor for the College of Humanities, who could not be here, unfortunately. A close member of his family passed on a day or two before he was scheduled to depart, and he had to stay behind. So we celebrate, and in solidarity with death in his family, Prof. Mkize, the Pro-Chancellor for this College of Humanities. Let's just celebrate with him, who is not here. And please pass on to him our sincere condolences. This strategic Caribbean-African partnership is important. And notice I said Caribbean, because we think this is bigger than what we are doing here in Jamaica. We need to restore an Afrocentric paradigm in our intellectual discourse, especially to affirm our identity in a world that seeks to minimize who we say we are. Bob Marley says, we refuse to be what you want us to be. We are what we are, and that's the way it's going to be. So that's why we enter into this kind of partnership. We celebrate today our graduates who have completed their course of study prescribed by the University Academic Board. And your time here at IUC has taught you the ability to listen to different perspectives and to strengthen your understanding of others. This journey, you may have encountered many obstacles, but against great odds, you have made it. You have surrounded yourselves with peers, with supportive family, who they were there for you through thick and thin. They were non-judgmental in your discourse. They late hours of the night, you were online. They were there with you, your partners, your children, your wider family. They supported you. And here you are. You are in this place saying, thanks be to God. Your success is their success. And we say thanks be to God for this. It is said that procrastination is the assassination of destination. I repeat. Procrastination is the assassination of destination. And sadly, not all of those who should be graduating are doing so today. Whether it is through procrastination or other forms of regret. But we say to them, don't give up. According to Mark Williamson, only gratitude can change the present moment. Therefore, celebrate your academic excellence, because your genuine happiness is formed by the challenges that you experience. You have completed your academic program and will soon receive certificates, diplomas, and degrees. For those who will continue in their employment, I challenge you today, never give up on continuous learning. This is but a comma in your academic journey. Lifelong learning should be the order of the day. Your IUC badge, celebrate it with honor. Continue to engage in critical thinking and respond to the challenges and the complex tasks. Remember that the job that you have today may not be around tomorrow. So you need to continuously equip yourself. So it doesn't matter what happens, there's always something to fall back on. As you seek to serve others, I pray that you do so with commitment, with compassion. Please embody the IUC motto: seek peace, pursue excellence. In all your endeavors, nurture character, presence, intellect, competence, trust, development of others, and getting things done. At the end of the day, let action become your word. You have already heard that this is a period of the changing landscape in higher education. This year, we move into our 20th year of celebration as an institution. I want to celebrate the pioneering work of Dr. Maitland Evans, who is not well. And I think this is a time that we go out loud and clear in saying thank you for that kind of pioneering work. There are those who have also contributed much. Dr. Adeline White, Norma Smelly, and other stalwarts. They planted the seed, and they have handed over to us this baton to make sure that we strive for excellence. As you have heard from Chancellor, the United Church has invested much in higher education. However, the cost of offering such education is very costly. Private education is not cheap. And so we need to work overtime and transform what we do in the educational sector. We are doing our best, especially in the year 2024, 2025, to bring about a changing environment to our educational landscape at IUC. Today, we join with the Council for World Mission in celebrating the presence of students from around the world. They were at the United Theological Seminary in Manila, Philippines. And for the past 2 months, they have been with us here in Jamaica, completing certificate programs in peace building, resiliency, and wellness, and peer mediation. And let's put our hands together and celebrate with the Council for World Mission. I wish to remind Chancellor that a unique feature of academic studies here at IUC is that we invite all our students. Doesn't matter if you are a PhD doctoral student, master's, undergraduate, we require them to be exposed to training in peace building, wellness, and resilience. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. We have skilled people in the world and they are not human, you know? It is important. We celebrate the humanities in a world that is putting at the top of the ladder science, management, technology. We say we must form sound human beings who know how to make peace in the midst of a world that is under so much threat. So, Chancellor, we thank all who are here today. Your years at IUC have taught you the importance of discipline, of hard work, positivity in achieving your academic goal. I must remind you that this metaverse economy requires you to continue your lifelong training. I want to thank and celebrate our postgraduate students whom today we will also ask you to receive under the leadership of Prof. Hutton. He recently came on board at the start of the year, and this is his first graduation with us, and he is in control of that growing of our postgraduate program. Last year, I reminded the graduates that getting knocked down is the only way to see how resilient you are. And we here in Jamaica, if we don't put something to music, it doesn't work. You cannot win an election without you have a good reggae song. Prince Buster did one for us. You pick me up, you lick me down, me bounce right back. I'm a hard man fidel. Yeah. That is called resilience. That's who we are. Resilience in all that we do. But we are also people of faith. St. Paul puts it well in 2 Corinthians 4. We are hard pressed on every side, but not crushed. Perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted, not abandoned. Struck down, but not destroyed. IUC has experienced more than its fair share of challenges, yet we have always learned from the difficulties, and we rise again to open doors of opportunities. I close, therefore, reminding this graduating class of the nature of commitment that is needed in this digital world. The same things these technocrats say, let's say to ourselves. You need to have a strong life password so that you don't become hacked. Consider a password manager to your identity security so that you remain strong no matter what the threats are. The next thing I saw on my phone, it says stay updated. Yep. We say to you also in this field of academics, stay updated. Continuously read. This is true not only for your phone or your computer, it's true for your life. The third thing, it says, think before you click. Be wary of suspicious things around you because it can cause havoc in your life. And if that is the case, colleagues, and it says always back up. Scripture says, remember the rock out of which you were hewn. It's called gratitude. Coffee says gratitude is a must. Always be thankful. So, to you, Chancellor, we say to the graduating class of 2024, we say to the faculty members who work so hard in getting these students ready for this day, to the administrative staff, to the graduation planning committee, to you distinguished guests, to our musicians, to the online team transmitting this ceremony virtually, to our host, the Webster United congregation, we say thank you for making this occasion memorable. And to you, Chancellor and guest speaker, Prof. Canute Thompson, we wait with great anticipation as you will greet us all, as you will speak to us. I pray that the God of peace may bless us and protect our graduates. God bless you all.
I am not understanding how it is that the class of 2024 is so quiet. I heard the president giving you some very strong advice and commendation, and I didn't hear a word of amen from you all. Mm-hmm. Come on, show some appreciation for what your president has said to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are going to have the head of humanities from the University of KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa, at this point to bring us greetings. And it is Professor Kumalo. Oh, Professor Kumalo. All right, let's make him welcome.
Thank you. Chancellor, Ambassador Asamba, President, Professor Hewitt, the General Secretary, our guest speaker, Professor Thompson, the moderator, colleagues, academics who are here, my friend and colleague, Professor Smith, colleagues from IUC, who are academics who work with us at UKZN, in the supervision of the students, friends, graduates, Dr. Amelia, who is here representing CWM, and the students, all of you. It is indeed a great joy and a privilege to be able to stand here in this platform to express words of gratitude in the place of my leader and line manager, Professor Nhlanhla Mkhize, who is the Deputy Vice Chancellor for the College of Humanities, who is actually responsible to the university for the partnership that we hold and celebrate between UKZN and IUC. We do indeed feel honored and privileged to have been invited to participate in this graduation. Very, very momentous occasion to celebrate with you for your achievements, but also to reflect on what this means for you, for us, for the institution, for UKZN, and for all people of goodwill who look up to this great institution and celebrate the work that you are doing. Our reasons for coming here, Chancellor, are threefold. The first one, we are here not necessarily because we are living under the illusion that we've got so much that we bring with us to you, but we are guided by the humility of knowing that Jamaica is a home of Pan-Africanism. This is the land of Marcus Garvey. We have just come from there this morning, and we've just been reminded of that great ideology that says, Africa for the Africans. I'm black and I'm beautiful. The world still needs to hear that kind of message. In a world that is so determined to elect potential despots and racists into positions of power, electing them simply because they don't pull their punches in expressing how racist they can be against people of power or of color in the world, it is important that we go back to drink to the wells of Pan-Africanism, so that we as a people can re-entrench our understanding and pride that we also have our own unique place under the sun. And we've got a seat in the table of knowledge, research, and development. As African and black people, we don't just exist to consume knowledge that has been developed by others. Time has come for us also to bring something into the table of knowledge that's going to develop this world and make it a better place for all. Our own knowledge is different, and how we celebrate knowledge. For us, knowledge is not important because it enables a few who are able to develop it to live better and go down in the annals of history for their contribution as individuals. But for us, knowledge is important because that knowledge enables us to grow together and become better together and never leave anyone behind. That's what African understanding of knowledge is all about. When knowledge empowers those who have been marginalized by society. If we know so much, if the world is so knowledgeable as we think it is, if it is so advanced, even in its form of democracy, why is it, therefore, say that we still have so much war? Why is it that we have so much lack of rights for the majority of people in whatever part of the world that you go to? Why is it that the economy that we are producing is still not accessible to the majority of people? Can we look at those failures and still claim that we have the monopoly to knowledge? Or we need to reach to a point of humility and say, yes, we know something, but the knowledge that we have is not holistic. It is not complete. It is not life-giving. It may be able to benefit a few, but it is failing to benefit all of the people. And in the world of scriptures, unless a message looks after the least of these, my brothers and sisters, it is not worthy to be celebrated. But the moment it takes all of us on board, then it is worth it. And what we come, therefore, as an African people, we celebrate science. We celebrate biology. We celebrate physics. We celebrate humanities. We celebrate all knowledge that still need to be discovered and developed. But we go beyond that and say we celebrate a knowledge that has got the basic principles of humanity, humaneness, and what we call Ubuntu. That says you are because we are. So we are here in Jamaica as people from South Africa and from the University of KwaZulu-Natal because we believe we are because you are, and you are because we are. Without us together developing in knowledge, this world will never become what it ought to be. As philosophers tell us all the time, this world is always what is not what ought to be. What ought to be is not what is in this world. What ought to be is where all of us together enjoy this knowledge, have access to the best knowledge as possible that we can. And we are in this partnership that we have, say, an ambassador, we are saying together as IUC and UKZN, maybe we can explore intellectual excellence with humanity. One that we can do it and change this world and make it better for all of us. That was the first reason. The second reason is to celebrate your achievement as the graduates. We know quite well where you have been, the struggles you've seen to be able to get to where you are. And we look at you and say, there goes the people who are going to take our continent and our people forward to a better future, especially in a world that seems to always not celebrate the place of people of color as contributors to the key principles and knowledge that is going to take our societies forward. Lastly, I bring greetings that says to us, in the second year, say, that I am here with you. But we also want to say, we want to invite both colleagues, staff, and students to participate in the exchange programs that we offer as a university at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, so that you come to us also, because there is so much that we are longing to learn from where you have been. And we are also longing to learn. You know what this context and this part of the world has? It has passion for Africanism. We don't have passion for Africanism. We know it, and so we take it for granted. And for people who've been outside of the context, now and again, they remind us how privileged we are to be living in a continent that is predominantly African. So that, in fact, we should be living the dream and the vision of our university, so that it's not just inscribed onto the letterheads of our university that we are a premier university of African scholarship. But you remind us that we have got a responsibility to make that a reality. And so, therefore, we look forward to inviting you to come and visit us as a university, to participate also in our own graduations, in our graduations, as I've heard the program director doing here, actually asking us to respond enthusiastically. We don't get asked to do that. In fact, people go mad when they're graduating. They dance out of their graduation gowns. Some of them don't even bring the graduation gowns anymore. They come with their goat skins and cow skins and shields and everything, and they've broken and decolonized even the culture of graduation, so that it is no longer the culture of yesterday, but it is an African graduation of today, and we want to celebrate all those achievements with you. Thank you very much. I wish you well.
Really inspiring in the short time, really inspiring. I don't know how many of you are getting the message, of the new epistemic that the South Africans have brought to us. We need to create new knowledge, not from what went before, but where we are going. And I tell you, it sounds really interesting. And did you hear him say that you're too quiet too? No cow skins, no horns blowing and so on, to say, we have arrived, we have done it. Maybe you still have several steps on the ladder, rungs on the ladder to go, but today is important to you. You worked hard. Let me hear you shout something. You did it, after all. No, there's something about a disadvantage about us professors, lecturers, teachers, teaching online. We teach by faith. Sometimes we're not too sure if people are mixing coffee, cooking, ironing, or if they're really there. So we teach by faith. And so today, I am hearing students call to me, and I've taught them for a semester, and I'm seeing them for the first time. However, thank God you have arrived. You have done what you needed to do to be here. Now I'm going to be calling on Avajoy Johnson-Gordon, Mrs. Now, I've taught her. I have no idea what she looks like, so anybody could come up. But I believe that the right Avajoy Johnson-Gordon is going to come now to introduce the guest speaker. And when she's finished, I want us to stand and welcome the Pro-Vice Chancellor of the University of the West Indies, Professor Keynote Thompson, who has been with IUC years ago, and he will still be charting the path for us to follow, and maybe partnering with them at the University of the West Indies. Come on up, Avajoy. I am happy to see you, and you will be introducing the guest speaker.
Dr. Amoy Rowe, Grand Marshal, Ambassador Alun Asamba, Chancellor, International University of the Caribbean, President, Professor Roderick Hewitt, General Secretary of the United Church of Jamaica and Grand Cayman, Reverend Norbert Stevens, Moderator of the United Church of Jamaica and Grand Cayman, the Right Reverend Gary Harriott, Keynote Speaker, Professor Keynote Thompson, faculty and staff of IUC, fellow graduates, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Today, my task is to introduce you to our keynote speaker for the hour. Professor Keynote Thompson is a professor of educational policy, planning, and leadership, and Pro-Vice Chancellor for undergraduate studies at the University of the West Indies. He is a leadership coach and certified management consultant, a public scholar and social activist. He has published 7 single-authored books on subjects ranging on leadership, public policy, and educational policy, and co-edited 3 books, edited 1 and co-authored 1. He has also published over 25 peer-reviewed journals, articles, and book chapters combined, and over 200 newspaper columns. Professor Thompson is the pioneering co-founder for the Caribbean Center for Education Planning, CCEP, the Caribbean Leadership Reimagination Initiative, CLRI, and the Philosophy of Education Movement of the Caribbean, PEMCA. He currently serves as director of the CCEP, chief consultant of the CLRI, and executive chair of PEMCA. As a leadership coach and management consultant, Professor Thompson has worked in several countries, mainly in the Caribbean, and has facilitated the training and development of teachers, aspiring school principals, managers in the private and public sectors, social worker, pastors, student leaders, and aspiring and practicing politicians. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause as we welcome Professor Keynote Thompson.
Chancellor, Chancellor Alun Ndombe Asamba, Vice Chancellor Mr. Alexander Bourne, President Professor Roderick Hewitt, other members of the platform party, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, pleasant afternoon to you. Pleasant afternoon to you. Thank you. Missing from the introduction, through no fault of the reader, is that I'm also a pastor and a minister of the Moravian Church in Jamaica. I'm also a Caribbean scholar, and you might know that the record for the longest speech in history is from a Caribbean speaker, the late Fidel Castro, who spoke for 5 hours and 34 minutes, unbroken. My good friend and mentor and boss, Professor Sir Hilary Beckles, says that the record must remain in the Caribbean. Don't take that as a threat. Take that as an invitation to spend some time together tonight. The IUC, as Prof. Hewitt and Ambassador Asamba indicated, is part of my DNA. I worked with the IUC long before I began working with the IUC in a full-time capacity in 2007. And there are 3 things about IUC that struck me. One mentioned by the Chancellor, that the concept of IUC, the vision of IUC, is relevant to our society. I remember in those days when we were having difficulty financially, I remember saying to then President Dr. Maitland Evans, the vision remains relevant. And those of us who knew him well or know him well would know that he is a resilient and determined man. The second thing about IUC that struck me was the breadth of its courage. Dr. Elvis Hewitt Buckle, who was at the time vice president, she and I would go around the place making trouble, buying property in places where we could hardly afford it, but had the vision to believe that it is possible one day to use these properties to transform our society. The third thing about IUC that resonated with me and remains with me is the strength of its alumni. Back in those days when I served as vice president for, what was it again, Brother Roderick? I was vice president for an important task. But one of my responsibilities was to raise funds from donors and from alumni. And I remember generating a project at one of our locations, developing a project at one of our locations, and the enthusiasm with which the alumni donated to that project was awe-inspiring. And I'm hopeful and trustful that the alumni, those of you who would, as of today, become alumni, will have the same love for your IUC as those of yesterday. But I took note of your theme, Mr. President, Madam Chancellor. And I must confess that when I looked at the theme the first time when I received the letter, I did not see in the theme itself the letters IUC. What I saw were the words breaking barriers, achieving success, and inspiring greatness. But IUC has been breaking barriers and achieving success. Those of you who have followed the news since the world recession back in 2008 know that many great universities have either folded or been enfolded. They have shut their doors because of the severe financial crisis of the world recession in 2008. And those that did not close their doors have been incorporated into larger and stronger universities. The same is true today, following COVID 3 years ago or so. And a report that came out in University World News a couple days ago, Mr. President, indicated that in the next 2 years, 71% of the universities in the UK will go into a financial deficit. 71%. And there's no telling how many of them will survive. One of the biggest challenges facing universities across the West, as also in Africa out in the East, one of the big challenges is attracting people to the doors. The ability to afford university education is one of the biggest challenges of our times. But the point I want to make is that IUC has been facing this battle unbroken for the last 20 years and has survived, has endured, and remains resilient. So that's my message to IUC. Or might I say, here's my message to IUC. Continue with the level of determination, intellectual insight, faith-based leadership, and love for region and country. And those qualities will keep you going. It's not about you. It's about the bigger vision you have for society. But since I didn't see the word IUC when I looked at the topic initially, I want to say something to the graduates. And I want to share with you a little bit of a personal story, if I might. So, mindful of the profound insights that have been offered by the speakers before, Madam Chancellor, the President, and our brother from the University of KwaZulu-Natal, I thought I would share with graduates a few simple thoughts on the question or on the issue of resilience, the issue of breaking barriers, the issue of achieving success and inspiring greatness. And I want to begin by sharing with you 5 simple thoughts to which I would like you to connect the story I'm going to tell you and be done before 5 hours have passed. The first thought I'd like you to ponder is that your place does not determine your possibility and promise. Your place in the organization, your place as a member of the church, your place in the family, that place does not determine your possibility and promise. It is your sense of purpose, personal pride, and prayerfulness that do. The second thought I want to leave with you, to which I will return when I tell this story, is that the negative labels others place on you do not define you unless you submit to them, as Brother President said earlier. Never let others' negative labels of you shape your self-understanding. The third thought I want to share with you is that failure can be devastating, but your failure at something does not reflect your capabilities, but more often than not reflect the situational realities and circumstances that may be outside of your control. But failure is only a door to greatness and greater success. The fourth thought I would like to share is that one of the ways to succeed is to align yourself with people who believe in you and take energy and encouragement from their support. And in this regard, I am moved, and I would almost say duty-bound, but rather I would say love-bound, to recognize and to celebrate a friendship I have with Professor Disraeli Hutton. Those of you who don't know him, I'm going to ask him to stand so you may see him. Professor Hutton received me when I began at the University of the West Indies in a full-time capacity 10 years ago. Professor Hutton was one of the examiners who examined my thesis back in 2008 it was, in the presence of friends like Dr. Buckle, who attended with me, because at that time I was employed to IUC. And by the way, IUC gave me all the time I needed to get the study done. But Prof. Hutton, who was one of the examiners, invited me soon after to join the University of the West Indies. At that time, there was no position, there was no job offering, but there were things to be done. And he invited me to begin writing courses and programs with him, which I did voluntarily, because he helped me to believe something that I already believed, that the bigger agenda is bigger than your personal tastes and wishes at this time. So, if you can't find a job, let me just digress to say, if you can't find a job that is paying you, find something to do. Yes, go and volunteer somewhere. All right. When time comes for a job, people will remember that this man has been laboring here for a long time, or this woman, and your name is called. as I digress further, what I want to say is that one of the things for which you want to be known, one of the things, well, there are three things perhaps I would want to suggest for which you want to be known. The first thing for which you want to be known is that you're a person who gets things done. Right? Whether the resources are adequate or time is sufficient or you're getting help, you're a person who will get it done. The second thing I suggest you should seek to be one of your mantras, something by which you want to be known, is that if they are scheming some chickini business and going to do it the wrong way, they can't call you. Because you're going to say, but. You're going to ask, is this right? You're going to ask, can we defend this? Be known for a person who, although being creative and even sometimes abrasive, a person committed to getting it done, you will not submit to unethical and unprincipled practices. And the third thing I want to just suggest, I'm still on D. Remember I'm giving you 4 thoughts? The first one is your place. The second is about negative labels. The third is about failure. This one I'm talking about aligning yourself. The third thing for which you want to be known is a person who is collegial. And this is something that Prof. Hutton taught me, to be collegial, to be a brother, to be there for your neighbor, to stand up for your friend, to be willing to listen to the hurting person. I don't want to make this about Prof. Hutton, but the last thing I'll say is that for a time he was director of the School of Education. And one of his, well, perhaps his guiding philosophy was, no one left behind. And he put in systems to ensure that every brother, every sister, every member of faculty had a chance to move up and move on. Be collegial. The fifth thought, the fifth concept, the fifth precept I want to leave with you before I give you a shortened version of the story I intended to tell you, is that systems are not always set up to help you succeed. There's a lady who taught me some years ago. She said, Keynote, the world doesn't spin for you. You will have to take the world and spin it in your direction. All right? Systems are not always set up to help you. Systems often exist to serve their own needs and, unfortunately, the interests of some. And yes, Prof, we sometimes write theories and convey narratives that support the interests of others, and others are excluded. And I celebrate the fact that Africa or African scholars are embedding themselves with IUC and supporting the work of IUC within the framework of Ubuntu. I am because you are because I am, without you I cannot be. Systems often exist to serve their own needs and sometimes the needs of others. In other words, systems are sometimes anti-Ubuntu. When systems and those who operate them stand in your way, do not flinch or accept their decisions as the last word on your future. Find your way around them and pursue your purpose. So here's a little story I was going to tell you. It was a story about myself. And here's the story. So I'm the 7th son to my parents in an unbroken line of sons. 9 of us, my 2 sisters follow me. I'm the 7th boy. All right? And I often give the joke that I'm sure that when I was born, and Nurse Fong said, Mrs. Thompson is a boy. She said, I don't want no boy again. She had seen boys until they were coming through her ears, and she didn't want any. any more boys. But the larger point I want to make is that I was neither the first nor the last, because my sister, our sister, their first daughter, came in just a little bit over a year from I was born. I remember when I was going to boarding school, the boys told me that my father became weak, that's why I'm half girl. Anyway, so I was the seventh boy. My sister was there as the eighth child. And so I was neither the first nor the last, nor the only one of my kind. And those of you who have done psychology would know the theory of birth order and how that influences your place and your sense of self, all right? So I was in this awkward space as a child who had nothing unique or special about me. At least so my reflection says it, yes? And I would get into fights with my brothers, and of course, I would get beaten because all of them bigger than me. In fact, the only two brothers I would really fight with was the sixth and the fifth. The other, well, I fought with the fourth as well. I was that troublesome. But I reflected that one of the things I was experiencing as a child was trying to find my place, trying to navigate the power dynamics of the family, and to assert that the rights that they had, I had those rights too. So I grew up for a while doubting myself. I remember the first time, and this might be funny, the first time I was told that I was handsome. I never believed it. Nothing couldn't go so, all right. Because I was, one of the ways in which I was being controlled by my surroundings. People say, go away, you're so ugly, all right. But the lesson that I drew from those is that I had to work for recognition to some degree in the family. So my father was a farmer, raised cows, plant lots of potato, lots of yam, and so on. And because of where the road was, a distance from the house, we'd have to carry the potatoes on our head with a cutter, you know, the cutter, those of you who come from country, that cutter, and carry it up to the house, leave it there until Sunday night. Well, normally Monday night, because the truck that bought potatoes, would come on a Tuesday morning, all right? And we'd wake up early Tuesday morning, 4 o'clock, and start carrying the potato up. But I was the only one who my father would stop from school or maybe I should say, I was the one who was most willing to stop from school to carry the potatoes. That was part of my search for a sense of place. And what I was seeking to do was to define that I had value, that I could contribute meaningfully to the realities and context of the family in ways that others perhaps were not willing to. So I say to you, your place does not determine your possibility. Through those experiences of fighting, of seeking to serve, of being eager to go beyond the distance that others have gone, to go the extra mile, through those things, I have learned in my adult life to be an unrelenting fighter. I said to people, the only thing that I want people to say at my funeral is that he fought to defend the rights of others. If that's all that I live for, I'll be a happy man. So here's the other story. I couldn't write. My penmanship was poor. I did math in fourth form and passed it. Business math it was. In fifth form, I only passed accounts. I was the first batch of students doing CXC. And all of my courses, except accounts, came back UG, ungraded. And I forgive my teachers and my guidance counselors not to have picked up what was happening. Because I remember saying I'm a pastor, and I've been a pastor since I'm a teenager. And I remember one morning, Sunday morning after results came out, Sister Lena Palmer said, pass and fail BK. I failed even religious knowledge, failed everything. UG. They never marked my paper. My penmanship was so poor, they must have dashed it one side. And so I had to now, not only learn to write, which was necessary, but I had to do over my CXC. And guess what? By God's grace, I passed them. Taught myself and passed them. Which leads me to the lesson that the negative labels others place on you do not define you. All right? So life continued, and I entered UTC, and I'm eternally grateful to the Moravian Church in Jamaica, Brother Harriet, for the support that I received. Because when I did over my CXCs, it was in my first year in college when I had all the time available to study on my own. But having failed my subjects in the first go, I began to have doubts about myself. I remember saying to my warden, the late Reverend Dr. Robert Cuthbert at the time, I said to him one day, we were having a discussion, I said, I only just want to pass. I never had any sense that I could excel. I said to him, I only want to pass. And he said, young man, come here. Never say to yourself that you only want to pass. Say to yourself at all times, you want to excel. And I believed it. I believed I could excel because he said it to me. Which leads me to say to you that failure can be devastating, but your failure at something does not reflect your capabilities. I don't know why I couldn't write. Maybe I just never had the discipline. But I failed not because of some inherent inability. I failed because of circumstances. Whilst at UTC, and based on the kinds of conversations in which I began to engage, UTC, by the way, for those who don't know, means United Theological College. Properly, United Theological College of the West Indies, UTCWI. While I was at UTC, by my third year, the instruction or the encouragement from Reverend Cuthbert was in my first year. By my third year, I began to dream big. And whilst I was at the beginning of my fourth year, I began to aspire to do the things that my lecturers did. The lecturers at UTC were brilliant men. Reverend David Jelliman, you all don't know him. Reverend Dr. Burchell Taylor, Reverend Cuthbert himself, Reverend William Watty. Great men, brilliant men, and I wanted to be like them. So guess what? While I was in my fourth year, I applied for a scholarship to Princeton Seminary. So this was this little youth come from a place in Manchester called Wales, bush part of Manchester, deep rural Manchester. So here was this little boy from Manchester wanting to go to Princeton. People like Reverend Roderick were the men who went to them places, all right? So I wrote to Princeton and applied for a scholarship. By the way, Princeton University is always among the top 5 universities in the world. So I wrote to Princeton Seminary, outlined a case, and guess what? I got the offer of a scholarship, but provisionally. It was a provisional offer. The scholarship came with the caveat that I must receive an ecclesiastical endorsement, which means that somebody in the position of brother moderator, that in our church it's the president of the PC, they must write to say the church supports this applicant for a scholarship and will release him to study. Remember, I was still in college, you know. Spoke with my warden at the time, Reverend Cuthbert, who said that he would have to take the matter to the PEC, to the governing body. Normally, you get to go the study leave to do a master's after 5 years. But my dream was bubbling up in me so badly. My heart was so much on fire, I couldn't wait 5 years. Reverend Cuthbert took the matter to the PEC, and guess what? PEC said, no, you don't qualify. Wait your turn. Go and sit down and wait. And, no, sorry, not yet. Actually, that was not yet. Well, they said that, but Reverend Cuthbert, in a desire to assist me, wrote something to Princeton. And Princeton wrote back to say, the ecclesiastical endorsement is not specific enough. And so the scholarship was withdrawn. So I then set my eyes on finding a seminary that would give me a scholarship without requiring an ecclesiastical endorsement. And the lesson I want to leave with you is that systems don't always work for you. When the system fails, find a way around them. So I wrote to other seminaries, and I was accepted at Eden Theological Seminary. Studied by the time I got there, however, one of the greatest writers, Walter Brueggemann, remember his name when you go home. He was just leaving. But I was going to Eden because I wanted to sit at the feet of Walter Brueggemann. Didn't sit at his feet, he had left, but he offered, well, he responded to my request to read my thesis. And Walter Brueggemann said to me, when he read my thesis, he said, pardon me, let me correct. I developed 2 articles from my thesis and sent it to him along with my thesis. And he said to me, he said, the articles are good, but they are too technical for popular consumption and not technical enough for technical consumption. In other words, it's good, but it may not get very far. And it is through Walter Brueggemann that I have learned the art of writing. So by God's grace, today, 7 self-authored books and several other pieces of publication, which leaves me to leave with you my last advice. Align yourself with people who believe in you. Draw on their encouragement and use the strength that is infused in you through their support for you to help others get through. Thank you.
Yes, yes. We want to thank Pro Vice Chancellor Keynote Thompson for those profound statements. We could say he's a living testimony. Right, class of 2024? And I'm not the person to thank him for his lovely presentation here and his speech. I'm going to invite one of our graduate students, postgraduate student, Miss Paulette Bryan, who will be receiving her degree, a PhD today. And she will give the vote of thanks to him.
Professor Keynote Thompson. What a word. Words of encouragement. Words of hope. Words to challenge us. Thank you, sir. On behalf of the International University of the Caribbean, it is my pleasure to present to you this gift. We really appreciate it. I am touched. And my students, I want you to say amen. Amen. You are indeed special. May God bless you. Thank you again.
I'm going to invite the registrar at this time. She will come to do her part.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am also truly inspired by our guest speaker, Pro-Chancellor Keynote Thompson. And I take the opportunity now to extend congratulations to our graduating class of 2024 as they celebrate their achievements. I also wish to congratulate all those who journeyed with them and gave them unreserved support throughout their years of studies. So at this juncture, Chancellor, I'm pleased to announce that the records of the International University of the Caribbean and its constituent colleges, the Melnathan College and the College of Leadership and Theological Development, have shown that approximately 120 candidates have successfully completed their courses of study in the various disciplines offered at the institution. Among these are 9 certificates from the Training in Mission, 110 bachelor's degrees, and 9 master's degrees, and 2 doctoral degrees. We are confident that all candidates were adequately prepared and are ready to be presented for graduation. I now call on the deans of the colleges to present these candidates to you. Thank you.
Chancellor, I present candidates from the Melnathan College who have qualified to receive bachelor's degrees. These will be presented by Mrs. Hazel Graham and will be followed by Reverend Dr. Amelia Butler for those receiving certificates in peer mediation, peace and resiliency, and wellness.
Will the graduates of the Business Administration with specialization in program and project management please stand? Thuda Arnold, lower second class honors. Wendy Amelia Austin Facey, lower second class honors. Wenise Antoinette Campbell, upper second class. Delreen Angela Ebanks, lower second class. April Abigail Gentles, lower second class.
April.
Sharika Victoria Meeks, lower second class. Ariane Roger Samuels, upper second class. Travis Christopher Samuels, upper second class. Chanel Everett Williams, upper second class. For the Bachelor's of Business Administration, candidate, please stand. Tashana Antonia Williams. Thank you.
Would the Tims please stand and be prepared to come forward? Chancellor, the Council for World Mission Training and Mission Program is the longest continually running mission training program in the world. Since inception more than 40 years ago, global church and community leaders have been developed and now work in more than 40 countries. The program includes 3 qualifications that are being awarded today: From the International University of the Caribbean, the Certificate in Peer Mediation and the Certificate in Peace, Child Resilience and Wellness. And from the Union Theological Seminary in Dasmariñas, the Philippines, and in conjunction with the Council for World Mission, the Diploma in Mission Studies. And at this point, I welcome the faculty and members of UTS who are online, even though it's after 4 in the morning. This year's cohort came from 9 churches representing South Asia, Europe, Africa, the Pacific, and the Caribbean. And as I call your name, awardees, please come forward to receive your awards. From the Congregational Federation in Britain, Harley Stapleton Brister. From the Presbyterian Church of Myanmar, Lal Ramdintara. From the United Church of Jamaica and the Cayman Islands, Cherie Nichelle O'Connor. From the Kiribati United Church in the Pacific, if you don't know where it is, look it up, Taobe Rabaon. From Ekalasia Kelesiano Tuvalu in the Pacific, Tapo Maya Viola. And from the Presbyterian Church of India, Bang Chuang Pui. This morning we have had some disappointment as 3 of the young people who were to be awarded today have been taken to hospital. So we are receiving in absentia to be received by a program associate from Council for World Mission, Ms. Vicky Sim. From the Congregational Church of Malawi, Hastings, Westford, Kayenda. From the Protestant Church of the Rhineland, Luisa Albina Capes. And from the Guyana Congregational Church, Rebecca Adela Wrights. Chancellor, I present to you the TIM diplomats for 2024.
On the authority vested in me and on the recommendation of the Melnathan College and the Academic Board of the University, I do hereby confer in absentia on the graduates the following approved degrees and associate degrees with all rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto.
Vice Chancellor, I present candidates for the College of Leadership and Theological Development who have qualified to receive bachelor's degree. Bachelor's in Education Primary, Bachelor of Arts in Guidance and Counseling, and Bachelor of Arts in Psychology. I call upon you to stand and come forward at this time. Bachelor in Education Primary. Aretha Merlita Anderson. Lower second class. Cheval Angela Biggs. Naomi Biggs Gale. Upper class honors. Sasha Tanisha Brown. Upper class honors. She's not here. Sashwana Campbell. Upper second class. Chantel Campbell, upper second class. Veronica Collins, upper second class honors. Sophia Anne-Marie Dennis. Nestor Dennis Dixon. Keon Cassandra Isa, lower second class. Lorraine Francis Wright. Jamal Grant, upper second class honors. Tassian Nicole Gordon, second class honors. Cadian Hall, lower second class honors. Cadian Hall, upper second class honors. Carisha Hamil Lanneman, first class honors. Kershaw? Yes, sir. Anna K. Howe, upper second class. Shanice Hyatt, lower second class. Julia James. Laura, second class. Connie Marie James, first class honors. He's here. Andre Alistair St. Elmo James, upper second class. Natalie Johnson, upper second class. Avajoy Johnson Gordon, upper second class. Tracy Joe McPherson, upper second class. Shakira Marshall Lewis, upper second class. Lacian Ramasar, upper second class. Hold on. Nemisha Robinson, upper second class. Look for it and find and come on. Where me reach now? Opal Row. Oral Anthony Rowe, upper second class. Where? Probably not there. Keynote pick and come, we call it last. Oral Anthony Rowe. Hyacinth Saunders Brown, upper second class. Lower, it's lower, sorry. Petrona Semester, upper second class. Chevelle Tomlinson. Xavier Tomlinson. Latoya Tracy, upper second class. Names are missing. Shanice Walker Finley, upper second class. I am missing a name. I'll come back after BA Guidance and Counseling. I invite BA Guidance and Counseling graduates to stand and proceed to the center. Mrs. Godley, find out whose name is that. The name of the person I didn't call. Find that out for me. Charlotte Blackwood Howard, upper second class. Carrion Brown Jackson, upper second class. Daniel Cameron, upper second class. Africa Davis Kenton, honors second class. Eupheline McPherson Reed, honors first class. Dacia Morgan. Jeez, where am I now? I got through now. Dacia Morgan, first class honors. Delia Miles, upper second class. Chanel Powell Wollaston, second class, upper. Tashoy Stewart, lower second class. Ryan Thompson, lower second class. Just give me. Ronaldo Tomlinson, upper second class. So we missed one for BA primary. Now we are missing one for guidance and counseling. Your name is there somewhere. Just give me a chance until somebody comes and tells me. So give me a minute. Let me now finish BA psychology. But I'm asking Mrs. Codling to come right back here and give me those names. Thank you. BA psychology. Renee Erskine, upper second class. Shauna Mae James, upper second class. Brian O'Neill Nathan, upper second class. So just remember what the guest presenter said earlier. Do not let the negative define you. So where, Mrs. Codling, the two names, please. Sidian Walter. Who's the next one? Please come forward. No, I don't know who it is. Crystal Marie Henry Duncan please come. Thank you. That's it? Yeah? I'll tell you afterwards. That's all right. Who's calling? Who's calling you? So I have one now to call. So that has completed the list for BA primary, guidance and counseling, and BA psychology. I hope everyone was called now. All right. Those are little glitches, the things that happen. Now we have
on the authority vested in me and on the recommendation of the College of Leadership and Theological Development and the Academic Board of the University, I do hereby confer in absentia on the graduates the following approved degrees and associate degrees with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto.
Will the Masters in Counseling and Consulting Psychology please stand? come forward. Maxine Carter Smith. Dawn Doyley. Felicia Lindsay. Thank you.
On the authority vested in me and on the recommendation of the College of Leadership and Theological Development and the Academic Board of the University, I hereby confer on the graduates in absentia the following approved degrees with all rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto.
Just before, while they're waiting to clear up or clarify what's happening there, I need to ask Miss Sidian Walters, where is she, to stand? Miss Walters, Sidian Walters? Right. You got upper second class honors, and I want your colleagues to cheer you along because your name was not seen, and I want to acknowledge that. Sidian Walters, upper second class. Good.
I now call on our two doctoral candidates, Waisu Abayomi. Our next graduate, Paulette Bryan.
Thank you very much, Chancellor. I pause just to interject that these two doctoral graduates, they are also lecturers. So, to our colleagues from the University of KwaZulu-Natal, they represent part of our continuous program of wanting to see our lecturers being upgraded. Our doctoral program requires international recognized accreditation. And what we have done so far is not only in their viva with our colleagues from UKZN listening to their vivas, we are also moving to the next step of ensuring that they register with SAQA and that they will apply into the University of KwaZulu-Natal. So at the end of the day, they are going to be graduates of two institutions and will have an internationally recognized PhD program. Let us congratulate and celebrate with them. I want to say thanks to Pro-Chancellor, whom we thought needed to make sure he is as short as me. So he stood there for a long time, shaking hands. Let's give him thanks for all of his hard work.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I invite Mr. Errol Hamilton to present special awards to the graduates. Mr. Errol Hamilton. Jesus.
Chancellor, Ambassador Alun Ndombe Asamba, President, Professor Reverend Roderick Hewitt, other members of the platform, graduates, friends of graduates, families of graduates, guests. Good afternoon. This is a presentation of the special awards. And the first one we're looking at is highest academic achiever of the Chancellor's Award. And this goes to Connie James. Central Surrey, the President's Award for Transformational Leadership, and this goes to Cidian Walter. The highest practicum in education for the Sir Howard and the Lady Cook Award goes to Shanice Walker Findlay. Highest practicum in guidance and counseling for the Adeline White Award. No suspense here. It goes to Delia Miles. Highest research undergraduate studies for the Dean's Award, and you may come back to the platform, Connie James. I'm not really the last one.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies, and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I invite the class valedictorian to address the audience, and that's Connie James.
Dr. Amoy Rowe, Grad Marshal, Ambassador Alun Asamba, Chandler, International University of the Caribbean, President, Professor Roderick Hewitt, General Secretary of the United Church of Jamaica and Grand Cayman, Reverend Norbert Stevens, my apologies, Moderator of the United Church of Jamaica and Grand Cayman, the Right Reverend Gary Harriott. Keynote speaker, Professor Keynote Thompson, faculty, staff of the International University of the Caribbean, fellow graduates, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Today, it gives me great pleasure to stand before you all as valedictorian. In the sea of happy faces, I have a lot to be grateful for, but I will choose this precious minute to give thanks to God. Although he never said that the journey would be simple, he did claim that the destination would be valuable. Without the love and support of my mother, sisters, friends, and IUC lecturers, I can honestly state that I would not be the woman I am today. Why me? And can I get out of this? Those were my initial thoughts when I was told I had the privilege of giving this speech. And I questioned myself, can I do this? I was in awe. But now we're here in this moment, celebrating under the theme, Breaking Barriers, Achieving Success, and Inspiring Greatness. Journey with me in these few minutes, introspecting, laughing, and perhaps even picking up a few pearls of wisdom. I tried to draw my inspiration for my address from previous valedictory speeches, but I couldn't really recall any that had inspired me enough. I wanted to do this on my own. My first objective was to make what I was going to say important, poetic, and historic, so that people would be talking about my speech for weeks after it was concluded. I Googled the term valedictorian. Like any responsible, knowledgeable university student would, am I right? But all I could find was a definition of the term. And despite the fact that this was the standard academic method of knowledge acquisition, all I could find was just definitions, pages of farewell speeches that I could not purchase. After my infallible method failed, I considered utilizing artificial intelligence, the famous AI. But I had second thoughts. This was something I wanted to write for myself. I wanted to consider and speak on what really happened throughout these 4 years. I understood that I would have to do this on my own. After giving some thought, I decided that maybe the best approach to engage everyone in attendance today would be to attempt to distill the whole experience of being a student at the International University of the Caribbean and what that meant to all of us graduating today. I would like to mention a few points that I know most of my classmates are thinking about. Many people are responsible for our existence here today. To our parents, first and foremost, we are forever grateful to you. We are also truly thankful for our lecturers at IUC for sharing their knowledge, providing us with answers to so many late night calls, late submission of assignments, make-up tests, and heated arguments about grades we believe were not accurate. Am I right? Thank you to everyone who has helped us reach our goals, our dreams, and being here today. As a first-year student, we set out on this adventure together with our class calendars and the unwavering conviction that studying online would be exactly like the movies. After completing countless assignments, a few dubious late additions to classes, and an excessive amount of caffeine, we came out on top. Still wide-eyed, but this time with a degree in hand and the knowledge that university was not an easy path because we were online. As an alternative, we received something better: genuine friendships, growth, experiences that no screenplay could ever replicate. Year 1, semester 1. Some individuals may struggle to recall, but I do. It happened yesterday, in my opinion. I was concerned since I could not log on with the given IUC email I had received. I was hesitant to continue, but that was quickly addressed. Fast forward to when I began my classes, I met others who shared my enthusiasm. With my Savannah Lamar group, I quickly formed a team. Our first semester, we were given a group assignment, and we chose to do this in person. I became acquainted with Simone, Davian, Shanice, Chevelle, Chelsea, Delia, and Ronaldo. I must admit that we did create a WhatsApp group where we spoke about our lecturers constantly. Even though we were online, these friends were always present, giving encouragement and assisting when needed. I am sure you're all grateful as I am today. Studying online is quite hectic. It really is. Semester 2, I remembered we had a presentation, and this involved us turning on our cameras to present our work, our findings. And I remember seeing a young lady nursing her baby while trying to position her laptop or her phone so that it would only show her neck going upwards. I quickly learned that some people did not have it as easy as others. During presentations, you could hear children in the background wailing, dogs barking. You could hear that some persons were on the road in taxis, but they were still trying to present their work. Graduates, our dedication was and still is unmatched. Fast forward to year 2. You would have thought we were settling down, but then it became chaotic, with many trying to balance work and coming home late or just in time to have dinner and join class. I am sure, like myself, many of us desiring something great meant working hard to obtain it. That is a life lesson. I can tell you that in the end, it is like a miracle that cannot be explained. I can say, for many of us, when we thought life would be better in year 3, it became another difficult year. Being added to classes late, having several group assignments, was not very enjoyable because sometimes I personally felt as if I was pulling along dead weight. And in the midst of all of that, to discover that some grades were not available on RenWeb was very hard to take. RenWeb is the center of everything. Before all of this, I had no idea what RenWeb was. But now, I can give you a full lecture on how to download and utilize RenWeb very well. I have developed and grown in ways I never imagined. I can't help but smile as I reflect on these memories, each one a stepping stone to this moment. I appreciate all my lectures here at IUC. However, I would not feel I have done my speech justice if I did not mention Dr. Reed. I owe her a lot. I really do. And I am in awe of this woman's strength and her aura. She helped me to find the solutions to most of my problems regarding courses, and she gave me the encouragement I didn't really realize I needed. In life, we occasionally touch other people's lives without realizing the great impact we have on them. Fellow graduates, I'd like you to take this moment and pause, stand and join your hands together to applaud all the lecturers at the International University of the Caribbean. Thank you. They have influenced our lives positively in more ways than they can possibly imagine. I don't know about you, but for my 4th year, I entered it with great ease than my prior years. In my mind, I was almost done. They now refer to us as final year students. This was the last step. However, the dreaded research paper was a struggle. Note that I got a great start with Dr. Rowe, but then like a parent with too many children to care for, I was sent elsewhere, and it felt like failure until I was rescued, of course. Please understand that today, my principal is reviewing my research paper, and the recommendations that I made are being implemented at my school. That is how far I had gone with my research. That is how much I had invested into it. I genuinely conducted the research on my own without the use of artificial intelligence. How about you, fellow graduates? Your investment should pay dividends. Mine did. After completing my courses, I was still saddened. I was disturbed by the thought that I would be unable to graduate because of financial reasons. After 4 years of hard work, the prospect of not being able to attend graduation crushed me. I doubted myself again. But my mother never did. She advised me to pray. But there were so many things that I needed. And I wondered how God would answer prayers to fulfill so many requests, but He did. He blessed me abundantly. I understand that there are some individuals who face comparable issues, yet we're here now. We conquered every hardship and impediment that was thrown at us. We represent the actual meaning of using lemons to make lemonades. We have accomplished so much with so little. We are now equipped to accomplish anything with nothing. We must remember that the strongest individuals are not those that demonstrate power in front of us, but those who win fights we are unaware of. And you will never know how strong you are until it is your only option. Sometimes we believe life is challenging. It comes in waves, and we feel as if we are always put in negative situations. All we have to remember is that God gave us life as a test. We must remind ourselves that negative things in life are not permanent. And having a positive outlook is worthwhile. If there is one takeaway from this speech, it is that we are all capable of overcoming any difficulty in life, anywhere in the globe, at any time of year. As we scatter to four winds, let us not forget the friendship and memories we've established here. Keep in contact not only through social media, but in person. Show up for one another, no matter how large or little the occasion. Our trip together may be coming to an end, but our separate journeys have only just begun. So here's to us. Class of 2024. We came, we saw, we conquered. May our future be as bright and promising as a freshly polished diploma. Congratulations, we did it.
That was great.
I want to thank the valedictorian. Let's give it up for her again. We're on the home stretch now. We're going to be having a musical selection from the training in mission students, and then Mr. Hamilton is going to come to introduce the Students Guild, who will be taking us through the University Pledge, and then Reverend Harriot is going to bless the graduates and give us the closing prayer before the Chancellor brings this ceremony to a close. Please come in that order. Musical selection from Tibbs, then the introduction of the Guild President,
We heard earlier of the term Ubuntu. I am because we are. And in honor of the connection with UKZN of the University of KwaZulu-Natal, we have chosen to sing a song that I think many of you will know, that we ask you to join in on. As you know, 3 of our numbers are not here, so we need you to help us out. When we were in the Philippines, the related theology to Ubuntu is kapwa. Kapwa means there are links between individuals, between families, between communities, between the nations, the world, the earth, the oceans, and the heavens. So as we sing, we celebrate those connections, and we invite you to connect by making your rhythm known and by joining us with dancing and song. So you don't have to stay there still in the pews. Yeah? Yeah? Can we get some people on this side going 1, 2, with your feet? 1, 2, 1. Can we get you guys going with your hands? And you guys, clicks. We are marching in the light of God. 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 Light of God. We are marching. We are marching. We are marching in the light of God. We are marching. We are marching. We are marching in the light of God. We are moving in the power 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 of God. We are moving. We are moving. We are moving in the power of God. We are moving. We are moving. We are moving in the power of God. We are praying in the love 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 of God. Love of God. We are praying. We are praying. We are praying in the love of God. Love of God. We are praying. We are praying. We are praying in the love of God. Last one, you have your arms going. We are praising in the light of God. 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 Light of God. We are praising. We are praising. We are praising in the light of God. Light of God. We are praising. We are praising. We are praising in the light of God. Amen.
Can I ask Miss Sidian Walters to come to the platform, please? Thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, our Transformational Leadership awardee, as you all know by now, Cydia Walters. She was born and raised in Claremont, St. Anne. She attended Claremont Basic School and Claremont All-Age School. After completing her grade 6 achievement test, GSAT, she was awarded a place at the school of her choice, Ferncourt High School. You can say, hey, who is the foreign court person here? After high school, she attended Iuc College, and I can say, where she completed a diploma in psychology. She later enrolled at the International University of the Caribbean, where she pursued a Bachelor of Arts degree in guidance and counseling. At the university, she did not only strive for excellence academically, but was engaged in the Circle K Club. For the academic year 2021 to 2022, she served as club secretary. During her tenure, she and other Circle K members did volunteer work at various schools, including the Faith Christian Fellowship Basic School and Port Maria All-Age School. The club also contributed to different facilities, such as the Widow's Mite Home for Children with Special Needs. They interacted with the residents through games and meaningful conversations. Her love for serving continued to grow, and for the academic year 2023 to 2024, she was elected president of the club. She continued to serve wholeheartedly and goes by the club mantra, live to serve, love to serve. She demonstrated leadership throughout the tenure and was elected president of the Student Union for the academic year 2023 to 2024. She served with love and dedication and was always willing to assist in whatever capacity she was asked to serve in. Volunteer service is what brings her true joy, and so she became a mentor at the Heart Trust, where she mentored 7 individuals. See, they had the opportunity to be a guest speaker at different institutions. In November 2023, she was featured in the North Coast Times newspaper. And this was following her keynote address at the Claremont Basic School. She has demonstrated qualities of leadership and overcoming obstacles. She has demonstrated leadership in resilience. And this seems to be a buzzword today because I've heard it said several times since we started this program. When asked or when commended on her resilience, her response was, I owe everything to God Almighty. I owe everything to God Almighty. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in congratulating the President's Transformation Leadership Award, Sidian Walters. And we here have another presentation to make to her, and this is why she was called up. It is the President's Award, but he had already presented the main one. This is for her keepsake.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would now invite the graduating class to stand and turn your program to the pledge. Okay, we're ready. We pledge to honor and uphold the ideals of the International University of the Caribbean. We will strive to function each day with qualities and self-worth and professionalism, giving meaning to life and creation through the pursuit of peace and excellence. Our lives will be characterized by values of honesty and integrity, commitment and service, peace and goodwill, justice and fair play, respect and positive regard, guidance and caregiving. We will carry in our hearts the motivation to work towards the transformation and renewal of our families, our communities, and our nation, and ultimately our world. Thank you.
I invite you to remain standing and to receive this blessing. May the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. As you go forth from this place of learning, may the Lord's favor go with you. May he guide your steps, give you wisdom beyond your years, and open doors of opportunity before you. May you find purpose and meaning in your endeavors as you put into practice what you have learned. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. May you be strong and courageous, not afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Go in the strength of the Lord, for his strength is made perfect in weakness. May you bring glory to his name in all you do. Amen.
Thank you, Sidian and Reverend Harriet. At this time, Shanice Walker-Finley is going to take 2 minutes to give the vote of thanks, and right after that, we'll recess. The platform party will go first, followed by the staff and the admin, and then the graduates will go after. Let's do that in 3 minutes.
On behalf of the graduating class of 2024, I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to the Lord Almighty and everyone who made this momentous occasion possible. To our esteemed keynote speaker, Professor Kanu Thompson. Thank you for enlightening us today on the importance of resilience and breaking barriers and how we should align ourselves with people that believe in us. We thank Professor Iuc and Smith for taking time out to address us. Your words have deeply touched us and will continue to resonate as we step forward into the next phase of our lives. Thanks to the Chancellor Ambassador Alun Asamba for your work in guiding this institution on the right path. Pro Vice Chancellor Alexander Boyne for your continued support to this institution. President Professor Roderick Hewitt for your leadership. Our Registrar, Mrs. Codlin, and the Registrar team, thanks for putting up with us and making the provisions for us exiting the institution in peace. Vice presidents, deans, lecturers who provided academic guidance, making the way clear for us. We want to thank the administrative and finance staff for the work you do in keeping the organization together. Our coordinators, supervisors, and lecturers for interfacing and providing us guidance. We appreciate you. Thanks so much to the incredible staff of the International University of the Caribbean for everything you have done to ensure our journey was as smooth as possible. Your behind-the-scenes work made it possible for us to focus on our studies and to truly strive during this time. Your efforts may not always have been seen, but they have been deeply appreciated. We truly appreciate our families and friends. Words cannot fully express how much love, sacrifices, and support have meant to us. You have been our foundation, our safe space, our greatest cheerleaders. Every step of the way, you have been there, lifting us up and helping us to push through the challenges. This day is as much a celebration of your strength and belief in us as it is of our own. From the depths of our hearts, thank you for standing by us through it all. My fellow graduates, the class of 2024, congratulations. Today is a reflection of all the hard work, the struggles, the perseverance that we have put into reaching this milestone. To this wonderful audience, we thank you all for being here with us today. And now as we go our separate ways, let us remember our school motto: seek peace and pursue excellent. These words will serve as our compass as we navigate the future, guiding us to remain grounded, chase our passion, and never settle for anything less. Thank you, finally, to the International University of the Caribbean. Thank you for providing us with the platform to grow, to learn, and to become the individuals we are today. You have laid the foundation upon which we will continue to build our future. Thank you all. And may we carry the spirit of peace and excellence in everything we do moving forward.
Thank you very much. Bless you. Can we stand, please?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is left for me to say thank you all so much for being here. I feel like St. Peter on the Mount when he said to Jesus, it was good to have been here, but I promise you we are not going to build any tents. I want to just say to the graduates, I hope you took heed to all of what Dr. Keynote Thompson said. I hope you took heed to what your valedictorian said. And I hope you took heed to what our last speaker who gave the vote of thanks said. It is just left for me to thank all our guests, all our visitors, all the family, all the staff, academic, administrative, and ancillary staff of the International University of the Caribbean, who guided and honed the skills of our graduates to be able to get to this day. I feel very pleased to have been a participant in this, not just your journey, but also in your being able to successfully walk through these halls and head out into the world. I now declare this function to be, what should I say? Completed, having come to an end, adjourned, and you realize I'm not using Google or AI. Thank you all very much, and have an excellent rest of the day and a wonderful weekend. And safe travels to those of you who came to join us today. Thank you.
Standing as the recession takes place, the mace bearer will lead off, then the chancellor's party, then the president's party, then the academic party, and finally the graduates.